you don't want to have to babysit a guy. It's like, I get to sleep with this man for the rest of my life. So this is the book I recommend everybody read. Are we having an earthquake right now? Because otherwise, don't waste my time. Like, I'm not here just to be your little chit-chat fun buddy till you meet someone new. Another chit-chat video. Oh. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is your girl, Jeanine Amapola. If this is your first time seeing my face, then I hope you will subscribe. I do a lot of videos like this. I love to talk about dating and faith and honestly, anything to really just like help people, give people advice, kind of just be like your bigger sister. If you don't have one, if you do have one, then this is just awkward. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I hope you will subscribe and stick around for more of my videos. Hopefully your quarantine has been going well. You know, this whole video is about dating, which none of us are really like doing. I mean, if you are, how? Unless you already have a boyfriend. But for me, I'm like, we single out here, we alone. Like, we're not letting no man into my front door and you bringing that COVID with you. Like, sorry, not happening. Sorry, wrong number. Anyway, for today's video, we're gonna be talking all about dating. So on my Instagram, I did a live stream and I had you guys submit a bunch of your questions regarding dating. Now, we did an hour-long live stream. It was my friend Rachel and I. We did an hour-long live stream and there were so many questions we couldn't get to. So I wanted to do a video, a longer form video answering these questions for you. So I have my little comfy outfit on. Hopefully you guys will get comfy as well. And we're just gonna answer these questions. Now, I'm no dating expert, but I do think I have some knowledge. I've done a lot of research on this. I know incredible people that talk about this, and I really feel like I've gained a pretty good stance on dating. Get comfy, because we're gonna get into dating. Okay, so I'm not gonna post anyone's names because a lot of people would prefer to remain anonymous. So I'm just gonna like read them out and hopefully that's okay with you guys. Also, this advice is mainly coming from a Christian perspective just because I am Christian and that's typically where my stance is coming from, so just know that. Okay, first one is, my boyfriend is trying to build his relationship with God but won't go to church with me. So to me, that's kind of a red flag. And also, like, you don't want to have to babysit a guy and tell a guy like what to do, and like he should want to do that on his own, and that would always be the goal, is like that he would do that on his own. And personally, I would kind of reevaluate that relationship because I did have a relationship like that in the past, where I wanted to go to church and he didn't, and it was just very like evident of our lives in general, of how we were going on different paths, and like I would kind of take that as a big red flag and take heed to that and maybe consider, is the relationship healthy and kind of what God wants for you, because ultimately like he wants both of y'all serving him faithfully but not forcing each other to do that, you know what I mean? Someone says, how do you not get in way over your head too quickly with a guy? So this is something I've come to learn, is that again, in the beginning, this is where, you know, kind of like the facade is up a little bit. Everyone's trying to charm them. Everyone's trying to put their best foot forward. Everyone's trying to be like, you know, date me, I'm the best person ever. And in the Bible, it says charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. So you have to think about, okay, like, am I just being swooned by their appearance and the charm? And you have to look at the facts of like, what is this person actually like? Who are they actually like? And give yourself time to observe this person, because here's the thing, is you don't fully know this person. In the beginning, you only know kind of the image they're putting out. Like in the beginning, everybody sounds amazing. You're getting their resume and their resume is all the top qualities about them, and it's like, wow, this person is incredible. But that's not always the facts. Like, you want to know, how does this person argue? How do they handle conflict? How do they treat waiters? How do they treat employees? Like, you want to know how they are in every situation, because that will be very telling if you really do genuinely like them or not. You want to know, how do they treat their parents? Why did their last relationship fail? And so once you start collecting the data over a significant amount of time and really start evaluating who is this person really, that might help you not fall in love like too quickly and just like over romanticize this relationship, because sometimes our image of that person is not the reality. You want those both to line up, and you want to date a man of character. Yes, you want chemistry, but ultimately you want character. So that'd be my answer to that. Someone said 3 components of keeping a relationship healthy. Now, we did answer this question on the live stream, but I kind of wanted just to quickly summarize this. Is we both kind of said, my friend Rachel and I, when we did the live stream together, is we talked about transparency, honesty, and like boundaries. Obviously trust, like I know I'm giving more, but I do think there's a lot to a healthy relationship. But transparency and honesty is like basically being able to 100% be yourself with that person and be able to share them exactly how you feel and that they still love you, and that there's an open, healthy communication where you could say, hey, I'm feeling this way, or that really hurt me, or that really bothered me, or I didn't like when you said that, or like, you know what I mean? Being able to be fully yourself and transparent is very healthy. I think also the boundaries, them respecting you. I think respect is a big one. If you set up a boundary for yourself, like for example, my boundary is, hey, I will not cross kissing with. If a guy cannot respect that boundary, then like he's not the man for me. I'm sorry, he's just not. And I'm totally fine with like cutting that off if he cannot respect that. And then also trust. Like if you guys don't have trust, if you can't like go on a trip with your girlfriends, or he can't go on a trip with his dudes, and you don't need to constantly be texting him 24/7 being like, what are you doing? What is he doing? Like then that I think right there is just so toxic and unhealthy. Like you want to be able to have a healthy amount of trust to where you guys are both separate entities. You can do what you want, and you're not constantly having to question, is this person doing something behind my back? So those would be some things I would say. Someone said, do you believe that marriage can/could be for everyone? And I do. I really, really do. I think it all depends on your outlook on life, because I know people in my life and they just say like marriage is not for me. Like I just don't imagine myself settling down with one person, or they've seen their parents get divorced, so they can't even fathom going through that. But I would say you have to look back at to what caused you to believe that. You have to go back to the source, because my friend that I know that doesn't ever want to get married, it's because his parents got a divorce and it really, really badly hurt him to where he doesn't believe in marriage. He doesn't believe it can work. But I've seen it work. I know my parents have been married for 40 years and I know it can work, and I've seen healthy marriages. And I would say I do believe it can work for everybody. It just depends on how you change your outlook on marriage and why it is that you believe that. But I think so many people view marriage as the opposite of the way that God designed it. They view it as like a burden. They view it as like, oh, now I gotta sleep with the same person for the rest of my life. Not exciting anymore because you can't be with different people. And I view marriage as this beautiful thing. It's a representation of the body of Christ, us, and the church, which is like Jesus. Like we are, in the Bible, it always refers to how like we are the church's bride. Like we are the bride, like the people are the bride and Jesus is the church. So like how we are married to him, it shows the unification and the oneness. And that's how I view marriage. I think it's so beautiful when you get married. It's something that's so sacred, and like, I can't wait to get married one day. I can't wait to find that awesome spouse that shows the example of the way Christ expects a marriage and wants a marriage to be. Like you love that person sacrificially and unconditionally, and it's not viewed as just like, oh, I have to sleep with one person for the rest of my life. It's like, I get to sleep with this man for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it depends on your viewpoints, but I totally think, yes, marriage can be for everyone, and I wish more people saw marriage as a blessing versus a curse. So, yeah. Is it normal to have doubts about whether your futures will align? Is it still wrong to date? So, I think it is absolutely normal, and I do think those are questions you should be asking your partner. You want to know, where are we both going? Do our futures align? Do we want the same things? And one book that I absolutely recommend you guys to read, let me get it really quickly. I'm back, and I just realized that my pants were so unflattering, so I just fixed it. Okay, so this is the book I recommend everybody read before you get married. It literally says that. It says, don't get married until you read this book. It's called The Sacred Search by Gary Thomas. I will have it linked down below. This 100% changed my perspective on marriage when I'm looking for a partner. It talks about how to actually build a sustainable, healthy, long-lasting marriage, like qualities to look for in a partner, questions to ask your significant other before you get married. Please do yourself a favor and get this book so you can set yourself up for success. It's okay to have the doubts, but if the doubts are really causing you an uneasiness and a lack of peace, and you're realizing that your futures are not going towards the same thing, then I don't think it's the right thing to do to still date, because that's what she asked, is it still right to date? Because I feel like in some sense you're wasting your time and you're causing yourself more heartache and you're prolonging the inevitable in some sense. And obviously those are things you can work out great, but if you really ultimately don't see your futures aligning, then you don't want to get married to somebody. Like, marriage is a big deal, and so it's not something that should just be taken like lightly. So I will say that I would question that relationship if that gives you any sort of clarity. This is a good one. How often should you guys get into fights and arguments? Is almost every day bad? And I would say yes, that would be unhealthy. I do think that a couple should go through conflict. I think it would be weird if you don't, if you guys haven't gone through conflict. Sorry, there's weird noises outside my window. then that might be a little weird because maybe you guys aren't actually being honest with each other. You're not really expressing like how you truly feel. But I think every single couple goes through conflict. Now, if it's every single day, that doesn't seem healthy. That seems like a kind of a toxic relationship as well. Now, again, I don't know what your arguments are about, but almost every single day should not be a reoccurring thing. Fights are inevitable, like genuinely they really are, but it should not be every single day. So that is something I would also look into, perhaps. Why is my stuff shaking? That was so weird. My mirror was shaking and I was like, are we having an earthquake right now? Okay, no, I think it's because there was a car driving by. That freaked me out. Oh my gosh. Earthquakes literally scare me. Like, I thought I was in one this morning and I was like having like a mini panic attack. Okay, I was getting questions. How do you know when you're allowed to start dating or even getting married? And I learned about this answer from my old pastor, Jonathan Pokluda, JP, on Instagram. He used to preach at my old church, Watermark the Porch. Maybe you guys have heard of him. But what he said, and I think this is so true, is like, don't date unless you're ready to get married. Like, otherwise, like, what's the point? Because either you date and 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 you date, and then you're like, well, then where's this going? Either you get married or you break up, or some people literally just want to date and move in and do whatever for the rest of their lives. But personally, that's not like my approach to it. I would like to know if I'm dating you, this is ultimately leading towards marriage. Basically, it's don't date until you can get married, because otherwise, kind of like, what's the point? And if you guys are gonna break up, it's causing you more heartache down the road. It's causing you more heartache in the long run. And the thing is, if you know you're gonna get married and you know you love this person, you want to be married with them, then like that's awesome. Like, see that through. But if you don't see yourself marrying this person, then also in some sense, like, you're just causing yourself more heartache, and I wouldn't waste more time and be in that relationship if you don't see it really going anywhere. So hopefully that helps. Someone asked me, how do you date when you've been abused before? I don't know if I could ever love someone again. And I understand where you've been through. I've been through some abuse in my past as well. And the thing is, you will love again and you can be loved again. It's going to take you time to heal, and I absolutely recommend like counseling, specifically like trauma, abuse, relationship counseling. A counselor that specifically hones in on that, because that takes time to heal from. Believe me, I know. All the things they said and the things they did and the way they made you feel and all the belittling and how it completely just degraded you and took away your self-esteem and everything. And the thing is, you start to believe these lies that people speak over you, even though like you at the time don't know that you're believing them, but subconsciously you're starting to believe them until your entire self-esteem is just like wrecked. Here's what I want to say is, you will love again and you can be loved again. And not every guy is your ex. And when you're going forward, you have to say, this is not my ex. And it's hard not to project those fears onto that new person, but just know that that person is not your ex. And look for the signs in your ex, and look for that and say, okay, going forward, I don't want to date someone that has this, 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 and this. You know what I mean? Be aware of that so you can prevent yourself from going into a relationship like that again. But I would say take time to heal, counseling, therapy, talk it out, because the true story is like, you are loved, you are lovable, and you will be loved again. But you have to allow yourself to do that again and give yourself that time to heal. Someone says, you have a boyfriend? No, I do not have a boyfriend. Do not have a boyfriend. If you can't tell if the guy likes you and you've been talking to him for months. So here's something I learned through my friend Rachel, the True Feminine on Instagram, is that a guy will take your attention without giving intention. So that basically means you've been talking to this guy for months, you've been giving him attention, you've been chatting, he's had a fun, cute girl to chat with, he's been, flirty with you, but he's not putting any intention. His intentions are not to date you. So you can ask him, what are your intentions with me? And if his intentions are not to date you, then you're wasting your time. Something I've come to learn is that if a guy is pursuing me, or if I'm chatting with a guy, I want to know, what are your intentions with me? Because otherwise, don't waste my time. Like, I'm not here just to be your little chit-chat fun buddy till you meet someone new, you know what I mean? So if it's been months and there's actually been nothing, then I don't think that he's really ready to commit, and I don't think that he's really fully into you. Because I've also seen, if a guy wants you and if he likes you, he will do anything to get that. He will. And if he's not really making a move, then I would just be cautious with that and not get your heart too tangled into that. And ask him simply, what are your intentions with me? And that's it. Just say that and see what he says. And if his intentions are not to date you, then you say, okay, well then I'm so sorry. Then I can't keep talking to you because this is messing with my heart and it's not fair. It isn't fair to you. It's not fair at all. Girls' hearts get wrapped up into things like that emotionally 10 times more than a guy. Like, a guy can just be like, oh, this is so fun. Like, they don't give an F. But to a girl, our hearts get wrapped up into it and we overthink everything 10 times more. So be careful with your heart and guard it, and don't let guys play with it. Okay, I've been getting a lot of this question, and it's how far is too far, like about boundaries with a significant other, like in the Christian world, like how far is too far when dating. Another thing that my pastor said that was a new concept for me, but I was like, dang, that kind of makes sense, is that anything that prepares your body for sex is already taking it too far. So if you start, ladies, I'm about to get graphic here, or gentlemen, whoever's watching this video, I don't really care. If you start feeling like all tingly and you're like, oh, this is, you know what I mean? Then you're already kind of getting into that stage of preparing your body for sex. And so for me, I will not go past kissing. That's my boundary, is like, we are not doing anything past kissing. Now, kissing can definitely get heated. It can take you too far. So even that's something you even have to be careful with, because one thing can lead to another, even with kissing. So it's having those healthy boundaries, having a partner that respects those boundaries, that also has the same viewpoint as you, because you shouldn't be the only one constantly having to stop it or set the boundaries. He should too. For me, I think no more than kissing, and also even being wise with kissing and being self-aware and following those convictions of knowing, okay, this tempts me, this makes me want to do more, and like maybe even cutting back on that, because I know you guys, it's rough out there, I know. This is a good one as well. How can you tell apart a godly man from other men? So a godly man will be clear, and he will be intentional, and he will represent Christ with his actions, his words, the way he treats people, the way he treats you. Does he honor your body? Does he serve in the church? Is he tithing? Is he generous? Is he loving? Is he patient? Is he kind? Like when you look at the words in the Bible for love, like love is patient, love is kind, like all of those things. Does he represent that? Does he have the fruit of the Spirit? Does he have self-control? If you look at the fruit of the Spirit as well, does he have those? I'll have those written on. Does he have good godly men around him? Does he have men speaking into his life? Does he have authority that he has speaking into his life? Does he respect authority? I feel like it's just very evident. Like, does he have addictions he hasn't dealt with? Is he a big party guy? Does he smoke? Those are things personally for me that I'm just like, like, I don't want a party boy. I don't want a guy that smokes. Like, I'm looking for a loving man that represents Christ, that it's so evident that people around him know that he has a positive reputation, that he has people speaking into his life, that he has been actively pursuing the Lord for a significant amount of time, that he's not just now turning into a new believer, you know what I mean? So hopefully that gives you some tips. Okay, you guys, this is gonna be the last question, because I know this has probably been kind of long. Someone said, how do you know if the person is truly right for you? And I think this is a good one, because sometimes I feel like you're dating someone and there's either your judgment has been clouded or you don't feel peace. Now, something that I think is very, very, very telling in almost anything that you do in your life, but specifically dating, is there should be peace. I want to just have like a sweatshirt that says peace, or seek peace, chase peace, because I think peace is very telling in almost anything that you're dealing with. Now, when I was dating my second boyfriend, I knew there wasn't peace. That's the point. Is there wasn't peace. And that to me was God telling me, pinging in my ear, convicting me, Jeanine, this is not the one I have for you. So thank God that ended. But there should be peace. There shouldn't be doubts. And it should just fit right, and it should just feel right. And your lives should naturally go together. They should naturally merge. You should want the same things. People around you, if you date in community, which I think is so healthy, you have your girlfriends, he has his boyfriends, guy friends, whatever. They're able to also see this is a good, healthy relationship that is meant to be, that we champion this relationship, we agree with this relationship, and we see that this is a naturally healthy, merging relationship that's going towards marriage. If you have people around you being like, this is so toxic, then I wouldn't recommend pursuing that relationship, because ultimately when I'm at my wedding and I have my bridesmaids next to me, I want all those girls to say, we knew that this was the man for you. We love him, we respect him, we cherish him, we think he is the perfect fit for you. You want that in your life. And you want your parents to have that as well. You want your parents to have that peace for you. If he treats you right, if he respects you, if he honors you, do you feel safe in the relationship? Do you feel respected and loved and heard, and there's a communication? All those things you should feel. So hopefully that answers it for you. Now that was a long Q&A. I love doing this. I love talking about dating. I think you guys like hearing about dating as well. So let me know if you want another one of these Q&As. And I love just talking about dating with you guys. So if you guys want me to do more of these, just let me know. Ask your questions down below. And if you want to be on the next IG live where we discuss this live, follow my Instagram, that's Jeanine Amapola. And if you guys are bored during this quarantine, check out my vlog channel, that's Jeanine TV. And then again, get this book. It's really good, link down below. And that is everything for today. I love you guys. Subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye, guys.